Worldwide transmission continues. Open phones. And the mainstream media talking about total collapse of the banking system. We're going to be getting into that. The latest on Fast and Furious and more. Christians having their churches ransacked and desecrated by Al-Qaeda under NATO command. You cannot make up the magnitude of this ridiculousness because it's just so ridiculous that Al-Qaeda always worked for the bankers, but now it's just admitted. But it's supposed to be good. And Syrian rebels ransack Christian churches. Top story, Infowars.com. Let's go to Bob, Ray, Jason, and others. Let's go to Bob right now. Bob, you're on the air from Illinois. Welcome.
Thanks for taking my call, Alex.
How you doing, buddy?
Good. I just want you to know I joined the Mormon Church in 1975, and I was ordained a bishop in 1988. And I woke up to the New World Order by reading Ezra Taft Benson's book, An Enemy Hath Done This, and also Cleon Skousen's book, The Naked Communist. And later I started listening to Chuck Harder on the radio, and he woke me up even further, and then I got Jack McLam's Vampire Killer 2000, and then I started listening to you in about 1988, or 98, I'm sorry. I voted for Ron Paul, so that might give you an idea of where I'm coming from.
Sure.
Like I say, I've been listening to you since 97 or 98. You were on WINI out of Murfreesboro, Illinois. I enjoyed most of the guests you have on, but you had a guy on by the name of Francis Boyle, I think it was, and he was talking about Romney this and Romney that, and he had me going for a while until he said that Romney was a bishop in the church, and that he had these, all these connections and blah, blah. And then he said, then he was made an archbishop in the church. There's not even any such position as archbishop in our church.
Yeah, well, I have a lot of guests on, and I don't even remember Professor Boyle saying that. But, I mean, I don't know a whole lot about the Church of Latter-day Saints, but I know some stuff. I mean, was Romney a bishop in the church?
Yes.
Okay, but I mean, my issue with Romney is that most of the Mormons I know are anti-New World Order and awake more than pretty much anybody I talk to. All I know is I've got videos of Romney endorsing abortion when he was governor, and now he says he's against it. And Obamacare. So I'm just talking about Romney himself. He says some good things today, but my question is, could I believe them, or would I be gullible if I think that, well, the Romney empowered did one thing, but the Romney that wants conservatives to elect him says another. So, I mean, you've got the floor for a minute and a half. I mean, what's your point on Romney?
Okay, well, like I told you, I voted for Ron Paul. Harry Reid's also a member of our church, but I wouldn't vote for him if he was the last man on earth.
Yeah, he's pretty bad.
Yeah. But with Romney, the Book of Mormon, which was translated by Joseph Smith in the 1820s, talks about the New World Order. And so all Mormons who are Mormons know about the New World Order, and they're against it because they know that Satan is at the head of it. And I believe that there's a possibility that Romney is one of those Mormons, and I believe that when they were talking about Ron Paul him and his wife spending a lot of time with Romney and his wife, I'm hoping anyway that Ron Paul got through to him, and that maybe they're working on some things that will be good for us and that we'll appreciate. But if they are, they can't come out and say it right now, because you know what would happen.
Well, I'll say this. If Romney got in and did good things, I would support him. So there you have it. I'll support anybody who does good things, who does the right thing. I just know who finances Romney. And if he double-crosses the New World Order, they're going to come after him. All right, coming up, there is a cornucopia of mainstream news, financial articles saying get ready for a collapse. The globalist banks are getting ready for total collapse. Well, it's a mathematical certainty that it's designed to collapse. Somebody breaking that down at the bottom of the hour. Also, ISSA says gun control agenda behind Fast and Furious. Well, he doesn't say that. That's what the memos show, was to blame the Second Amendment. I've been telling you this for over a year since it broke, a year and a half. I told you about Fast and Furious 6 years ago. And now on YouTube, they're pulling the C-SPAN clips of the press conferences from 2.5, 3 years ago with Holder and Big Sis Napolitano bragging about their gun running operation and how they were running it. Because they've been caught perjuring themselves. It's open and shut. They go to jail. And I wouldn't believe that ISA would actually go after them. They are so far. And so is Boehner. So it's a good thing. I mean, I would have been happy if the Democrats would have been trying to actually impeach Bush, but they didn't. You've got to punish crime. You've got to punish unconstitutional activity, regardless of who it comes out of. Because then it scares the criminals and the bureaucrats to behave themselves. It's very elementary psychology. Ray in California. Ray, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Alex?
Yes.
Okay, what I wanted to say was, first off, the plan of the New World Order is containment for extermination. That's the first thing I want to say. And if you can thwart containment, you can eliminate extermination.
Okay.
You want to go on with this?
No, yeah, I mean, just restate what you said, because I kind of misunderstood. I mean, I'm not quite understanding the first thing you said about extermination.
The plan of the New World Order is basically breaking it all down as containment for extermination. They want to contain everything, then they want to exterminate. Okay? God brings life, darkness brings death. And these people are like devil worshiper extremists. They're, like the Skull and Bones. They're into death. That's what they call it, the Brotherhood of Death. Okay? And the Skull and Bones are more than you think. They're more than just Yale. They had like sub-chapters in China and Russia.
No, I know that. It's a chapter of the Illuminati. It's chapter 322.
Okay,
but it was the first big mothership out of the German Bavarian Illuminati, set up in 1832 by the Russell Trust with public opium monopoly money.
Yeah. There's another thing, too. Prior to the 18th century, both the Masons and the Catholic Church were against the New World Order. They infiltrated the Catholic Church and the Masons during the 18th century and the early 19th century. You know that, right?
Well, I mean, it's all open for debate.
Well, it's on YouTube. There's history about it. Okay.
It's on YouTube. It must be true.
Well, I mean, there's things out there. Okay, talking about that during the 18th century, they infiltrated the Catholic Church and the Masons, and they want to make the Freemasons into Illuminati Masons. And
yeah, no, that's George Washington's letters that are in the National Archives. You can pull them up. They have those all scanned in, written in his own hand, on record, his letters.
Yeah. So, anyways, the next point I wanted to bring up is that I believe that things have changed in 2006. Destiny changed, because the fact is that I think the original plan, my contention is the original plan was that Bush was supposed to attack Afghanistan, Iraq, and the two-front objective on Iran. Iran was the trigger. Okay? And what happened was he failed to do that. And how we know he failed to do that? And do you believe that movies have communicated things to the public?
Well, a lot of movies are put out by people I know, but they're generally more independent, smaller films. But even with some big actors, they have Illuminati stuff in it, like Scanner Darkly, that Rick Linklater put out, that I'm in, with Keanu Reeves, Winona Ryder, and Woody Harrelson, and others. And who's the actor? I met him a couple times shooting the film. We hung out with him, but then... No, I hung out with all the other folks a lot, but I didn't really hang out with him much. Who's the guy that plays Iron Man? Yeah, Robert Downey Jr. Always great actor. I always forget his name for some reason, because I always end up calling him Morton Downey Jr. That's the talk show guy. But that film, they've got Illuminati symbolism everywhere, because it's in Philip K. Dick's book. And the message is the Illuminati, the secret corporation, is drugging you to burn out your brain to make you a slave zombie. And they sit there, and I also consulted on the film. I didn't just, I wasn't just in it. It's overtly Illuminati, and it's exposing it. But then you've got big budget things where it's pro-Illuminati. So everything in films is not programming. But obviously on Fox Television, on the Lone Gunman spinoff of X-Files, where the government hijacks a jumbo jet to fly into the World Trade Center as a pretext to attack Afghanistan, and uses a terrorism drill as a pretext to claim hijackers are on board when it's really remote controlled. That's exactly what they did 6 months later. And then Dean Haglund, the star of the show, came to my house and said the CIA approached him and planted those plots on him. So, yeah, when you got something like that, it is 100% pre-programming to prepare the subconscious mind, but also to have like a public bragging rights, because the Illuminati is into magic, whether it's real or not. They believe the lesser magic, if they brag about it up front and let you know they're going to do it somehow, even if it's deceptively done, it gives them more power when they do the big act. But you got 30 seconds. Finish up.
Okay, the next point is at the end of the movie W, in the Oval Office, where Bush Sr. comes in to talk to George W. Bush Jr., and Bush Sr. says that Bush Jr., 200 years down the drain, basically, I'm paraphrasing. In other words, he was saying that the message was that Bush Jr. screwed up by not attacking Iran during 2006 to start the nuclear holocaust. 3.5 billion people are still alive, and they think they pissed off darkness, so they're trying to put the destruction of the planet on the fast track. That's my point.
No, I agree with you. They want to. That's why Cheney tried to start World War III with the Russians with the attack on South Ossetia. These people they're putting Al-Qaeda in everywhere. And it's just like, give your rights up, Al-Qaeda, but Al-Qaeda's good. And it's just like, ooh, Al-Qaeda, Al-Qaeda. It's like Woody Woodpecker. It's just totally insane in the contradiction that's there. Jason in Mass, you're on the air. Thanks for holding.
Hey, thanks, Alex. I just wanted to let you know that, you really helped me unplug from the Matrix, and, now that I'm awake, I'm looking at all your documentaries and everything, and just seeing what's going on out there. And my point is that, when the president or whoever executes the martial law, I think one thing, we need everyone to awaken, but it's more so the fact that we need police and the military to awaken, because, these are the guys who, if there is ever a revolution or what's going on, these are going to be the guys that we're going to go against. And, it's up to the families and everyone else to really get into these guys' heads and let them know what's going on. They're attacking our own soldiers,
Well, that's why they're doing all this fake community policing where they get to know you and are real friendly but put handcuffs on you for no reason. So when they come get you, you don't resist. And that's why they want to get everybody arrested for no seatbelts and stuff now. The police have been told they have quotas so that you're in the system. They want you to be used to going to jail, even though you're not a criminal, to get you primed. We want to stop that. We want to circumvent that and head that off now. But you're right. One of our main focuses is to try to wake up military police. And because they're in the middle of it, they're some of the easiest to wake up, I found. Who's hard to wake up is a soccer mom who believes in the system, or some mainline yuppie worker who thinks they're part of the establishment and thinks anybody that cares is weak, and that, it's cute and fun to not care and only be to themselves. They are hard to get to. Or if a Republican's in, then people get partisan and, the agenda can't be bad. My guy's in, we win. Or if it's Democrats, Obama's in, come on, he's their guy, he's not bad. That partisanship, but that's not working anymore. And again, they're not going to call it martial law. They're going to call it civil emergency. And so they're already rolling out a type of martial law. We're already in the pot. It's bubbling. It's just not boiling completely throughout yet. And so have you noticed they're accelerating it all now?
Yeah, especially around, around your area about, all the tanks rolling out in St. Louis, and, seeing them implement all these, these strategic areas, and it's just, it's one of those things where, these guys really need to wake up. They're going, these guys that they're saying that they're working for, these guys, families and everything are exposed to eugenics. They're exposed to all this stuff, too.
Oh, yeah, the bankers are going to take everything they've got. Again, police and bureaucrats and corporate people that work in the system, which is like half the public or more, you got to understand, the globalists plan to shut things down in phases. You're not on the winning team. They wouldn't let you on their team. You're nothing but a schmuck, a dupe, a sucker to them. Henry Kissinger quoted Bob Woodward. He said, the military